and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. So, if you're watching this by video, you might know, maybe not, but today's Halloween. And this is, of course, airing later, but I dressed up as an elemental today, and we'll actually talk about them in this show in a little bit. This show is all about tools to actualize everything you want. Tool number one, and so you guys know, they are in no way, shape, or form in order. These are just kind of popped up as I was looking at what I wanted to share today, and I could probably do 16 different radio shows on this topic and still have a ton of tools, because there's so many of the tools that we use in Access Consciousness are about actualizing. They're about creating what you desire, receiving everything you desire. So, tool number one, and this to me is something that you want to be really aware of. When you look at what you would like to actualize, what your ask is, the question you want to start asking is, truth, is this mine? I know, it sounds weird. However, we are infinitely aware. We can pick up the neighbor's headache. We can pick up somebody in a different reality's problem with money. I mean, we can pick up all sorts of insanity. We can also pick up other people's dreams and hopes and wishes and desires and wants. That's how magical we are. So if you have been asking for something for a while and it hasn't actualized it, ask. Truth, is this mine? Is this my ask? Because one thing I know about you and I know about me is that if we desire something, we're going to get it pretty quickly. Now we might have to, there might be some stuff that requires some timing, whatever, all of that, fine. But if it's been on your desires for, say, more than 3 months or so, check in. Is this actually mine? Now let's say you've been asking for a family holiday in Hawaii. And you ask, is this mine? And you get no. It might be that just part of that is different. So maybe it's not Hawaii. Maybe you would like a family holiday in Greece. Something like that. So truth, is this mine? It doesn't mean none of it's yours. You might just want to question a little bit more if there is. And if none of it's yours, please just take it off. Because here's the thing. We'll never actualize what isn't ours. So if we keep it on our list and it's not ours, what we'll do is we'll end up judging ourselves. Rather than acknowledging it's not ours, we go, oh, I'm so wrong, I'm so bad, I'm so horrible, I don't have this thing, I really would like it, but it's not happening, I must be blah, blah, blah. So, be honest with yourself. If it's not yours, take it off. And it might show up in a different way, there might be another way to ask it, then that's great. I also do this whole creation afternoon or part of the last day of foundation. I've got another one coming up at the end of December, #GetYourButtToFoundation, wherever, whenever, with whoever. Of course, there's many of us facilitators around the world. I do have one though at the end of December. We'll put a link somewhere. And if you're listening to this later, because I know some of you do, there will be a link to something that, they'll get you to my upcoming classes, because I always have foundation coming up. That is how much I love it. And so this is one of the things that I go through with people and I get them to look at in this creation time that we do. I get them to make a list. I get them to look at, okay, so truth, is this mine? Yeah. Now, the next tool on the list that I have is actually also from that same creation session is, let's say you get a yes, it's yours. Truth, am I willing to receive this? Now, this is where I see a lot of people freak out because they go, I don't want to ask that because if it's a no, it means I can't have it. But no, actually, it doesn't mean anything except that there might be some points of views to clear so that it's then a yes. Okay, that's all it means. That's it, that's all, that's it, that's all. But you have to acknowledge first if you're not willing to receive it. Because if you get you're not, then we can go other places, but you first have to acknowledge it. So let's say you're asking for $1 million a year business. Truth, is it mine? You get a yes. Okay, cool. Now, truth, am I willing to receive it? Let's say you get a no. Ooh, what are some other questions you could ask? Okay, so some of my favorites. Truth, who am I being when I'm not willing to receive $1 million a year business? You might have family members come to mind. You might have, I don't know, a school teacher. You might have somebody you don't even have a name for, but there's an energy there. It doesn't matter if or who or what pops up. You just need to destroy and uncreate it. So everything that is, I destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, meons. Yeah. Okay, some other ones that I have for that one is truth. If I actualized it, who would I lose? Yep. Truth, if I actualized it, what would I lose? Because sometimes we have these weird points of views, maybe from other lifetimes or other experiences in our current life, whatever it is, that we did lose somebody. Maybe we actualized $1 million business, a year business in another lifetime, and then our dog died. And we concluded that if we wouldn't have the $1 million business, then our dog wouldn't have died. And so then we go, never again. So even though these questions don't necessarily make sense, or who pops in when you ask it doesn't make sense, that's okay. That's okay. You're just clearing the bizarreness, and that's really what we want to get beyond. And then whatever else you might have come up with that. So if you get you're not willing to receive it, who am I being? Who would I lose? What would I lose? There might be other things too. Just be willing to clear it. I also have various programs on receiving, so we'll put a link somewhere. It's something I have talked about a lot, facilitated people a lot around, because when we're willing to receive everything, then we'll actualize everything we desire. And so that's really what this is about. So we'll put a link to some of those programs. And so just being willing to ask that, and no, it's not a conclusion, or you don't have to stop there like, oh, I'm not willing to receive it. Darn. No, you just want that information, and then you can go to step 2, which is clearing those points of views, asking more questions so that you can get to where you are willing to receive it. So tool number 3 is something that's a little bit different, but it is so important. What you want to start asking is, what can I add to my life today to actualize blah, blah, blah right away? So whatever it is that you're looking for. So what can I add to my life today to actualize $1 million a year business right away? And ask that a lot, and then follow whatever pops in. If you suddenly see a painting class and it's a yes, say yes to that. You suddenly hear about a running group and it's a yes, go to that. Like, it's not logical. And this is where a lot of times we think, okay, well, if I'd like to add something to my life that would actualize $1 million a year business, then it has to be business related. Maybe it's staff, maybe it's graphic designer, No, stop trying to be literal. Energy doesn't work literally. Energy works energetically. So you might see that painting class and you go to it, and then you meet somebody who's got this really cool invention or whatever. You get the idea, but start asking that a lot and start adding to your life more and more and more. Because here's the other thing that occurs when we're actualizing things is that we can get really limited in what we are putting our energy in. So we often will start contracting our energy, thinking that, well, the less I'm scattered, so to speak, the more that will occur. So the more that I focus on my business every day and I'm intent on my business every day, I will actualize it to be the $1 million year business. It's very rarely works like that. In fact, a lot of times, the more intent, the more focus, the more contracted you get, it kills whatever it is that you're doing that with. So the more that you have on the go, the more you're going to whatever, paint classes, run classes, yoga, fun with family, fun with friends, painting your house, like whatever it is, the more you are adding to your life in every area of your life and living, the more quickly you can actualize things because you're not limiting by that focus on one thing. Ugh, gosh. Imagine that you had a new friend and you enjoyed the new friend. You enjoyed being around them, but you were their only friend. They had no contact with anybody else. You were it. And you like already I get just like, oh no, that's not ease on my body. It's the same as with your stuff. When you're actualizing the $1 million a year business, it's the one that keeps coming to mind, but maybe you want a new horse or you want a new house and you're just zeroing in on that one thing. That's too much. That's not going to work the way. So the more that you can have so many other creations going, you can be adding to your life continuously. It's not scattered, guys. I know this reality tells us it's scattered, but I promise you it's not scattered. It's actually a way to really allow ourselves to get out of our head and into the living of our life and allow those things to show up as if by magic. Yeah. So, what can you be adding to your life today to actualize everything you desire with total ease and joy and glory? Anything that doesn't allow you to add it to your life with total ease and joy and glory, continuously will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah, so that's tool number 3. Tool number 4 is something you've probably, if you've listened to me before, maybe you've only listened to one show, you've probably heard me talk about it. But you want to be clearing constantly all of the DJCCs, pissers, and RJs, which is all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, rejections, expectations, separations, refined judgments that you have about something. So you have about actualizing $1 million a year business, that you have about getting a horse, like whatever it is, you want to be clearing those constantly. So for anybody who hasn't heard, we are now doing show notes. If you are on my email list, you will be getting them emailed to you every Sunday, and you can go and download them from the link in the weekly email if you would like. So all of these tools will be talked about in there. That acronym, DJCC, Pisser, and RJ, will be broken down in there. There will also be a link to a radio show where I talked about these in much more depth. There'll also be a radio show linked to the discussion of what can I add to my life, because I did a whole radio show on that. And also the show notes aren't just in the emailed section. You can also go to my webpage and find this radio show in the radio show section, and then they'll be out underneath. You can find those there. So there's lots of different ways, but if you would like them emailed directly to you, come and join me on my email list. You'll find a link here somewhere. If you can't find it, just email or message or smoke signal, and I will get it to you. So back to the DJCCs, Pissers, and RJs. The less decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, rejections, expectations, separations, or fine judgments that you have about anything, the more ease it can show up. Yeah, the more ease that it can show up. So all of the DJCCs, Pissers, and RJs that you've been using to ensure you don't actualize what you would like, will you destroy and uncreate all those times a godzillion? Whew, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Notice the energy on that. Now, that sounds so bizarre, right? Why would I work against myself? Why would I use DJCCs, Pissers, and RJs to ensure I don't actualize what I would like? You know what? We don't use the question why around here because it just doesn't work. But what you do want to recognize is that sometimes you're so cute and not so bright, that you actually don't create what you would like. It's maybe more ease to fit in. It's maybe more ease to do what other people are doing. It's maybe more ease to suffer because that's what your friends and family are doing. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, guys, but we do all sorts of cute things. It doesn't matter why. What you want to recognize is when you're doing it so that you can make a different choice. And that is also where the DJCCs, pissers, and RJs running that clearing will contribute. And put that on a sticky note, put it on an app on your phone, like the reminder app, do it so you're doing it a lot. And any area of your life that is not ease and joy and glory, you've got DJCCs, pissers, and RJs stopping you from creating it and actualizing it as ease and joy and glory. So it's just about clearing those things. That's all it is. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, shorts, boys, and beyonds. There's also another reason that I talk about this all the time, guys, and it's because it actually creates the change that's possible. It truly does. If you were to commit to yourself to clear the DJCCs, pissers, and RJs about the one area of your life that's not working, and you did that 10 times a day for 30 days, you would have a completely different life by the end of it. And it wouldn't just change that area. It would change all sorts of other areas too. Like, it's amazing what occurs when we just really get rid of those DJCCs, pissers, and RJs. All right, so the next tool number 5, tool number 5, is all about asking. Yeah, I know. People do not like to ask for what they would like. Like, it's the funniest thing to me. Now, I don't mean it's the funniest thing to me like I ask for what I would like all the time. I mean, even including me, it's the funniest thing how often we focus on the problem, we spin in the problem, we share the problem, the problem. But we don't ask for what we would like. And how this shows up, and it always makes me giggle. And just if this, if you and I have had this interaction, please know I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with all of us who do it. Because people will come on a call with me and they will go, okay, Glenyce, I've got this problem and it's this bad and it's this problem like this and then it's like this and then there's a problem with it over here like this and then there's this problem too and adding in this problem and then they stop talking and I'm like, and your question is, and again, please know, I'm not laughing at you guys. I do this too. It's like somehow, if we just talk about the problem enough, it would change it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Sorry. So know that you have to start asking for what you would like. Now, it can be super simple. It can be turned into what I like to use. Pardon me. Oh, my goodness. It can be turned into a I wonder. So let's say you're spinning in a problem about business. Let's stick with business. I freaking love business. So let's say you're in that problem. There's not enough business. There's not enough business because of this and this and this. And if only there was enough of this over here, I'd have more business, but I don't because of this and there's this. So you're spinning in the business problem. Stop. I wonder what it would be like to have more business than I can handle with total ease. I wonder what it would be like for business to double this month with total ease and joy and glory. I wonder what it would be like to have a business that's so successful, I need to add more staff. I wonder what it would be like to be the most successful business owner on the planet. So do you see what I've done here, guys? I've went from the spinning in the problem, which is not creating anything except more problems, into I wonder questions. Now, You can also use the what would it take question. So you might have heard people say, what would it take to have a really successful business? What would it take for my business to double this month? Something like that. I personally, this is just a personal thing, when I ask what would it take questions, it seems to bring my brain to the party, and suddenly my brain starts thinking and figuring it out. So I don't use them. I just don't find it works for me. I just turn it to I wonder. And when I ask that, there's just like, I wonder. There's no thinking. It's just, I wonder. I wonder what that would be like. So turn your spinning problems into a very simple ask. And what that does is a couple things. One, it gets you asking for what you would like, but also it gets you present with what it is you would like. Because even in those times when people come on the call and they tell me their problem, and I say, okay, what's your question? What would you like here? 90% of them don't have anything. They're like, oh, I'm not sure. So it'll start you getting present with what is it you would like? What is it you would like? Yeah. Now, the last tool I'm going to share today, certainly not the last tool that I could share about this because we could talk for days, #GetYourButtToFoundation, is engage with the elementals, which is the class that I did today. The link will be somewhere. It was phenomenal. You get a handout. I give all sorts of different processes and questions, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I also explain engaging. I explain elementals. I explain engaging with elementals to create magic. It's all the pieces. It's amazing. But so when you're looking at that in terms of a tool to actualize what you want, engaging with the elementals is a huge piece, because engaging with the elementals, very simply put, is allowing yourself to receive from everything. There are these energies that desire to contribute to us. And when we engage with them, when we invite them to the party, when we say, yes, please contribute to actualizing $1 million a year business, they can. And it's this beautiful dance of gifting and receiving and receiving and gifting and possibilities and magic and so much, guys. Yes. And so the more that you engage with the elementals in actualizing what you want, the quicker it can show up. The more magic, the more miracles, the more possibilities, all of that. Yeah. So anywhere you haven't been willing to engage with the elementals, will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pud, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yes. So much beautiful energy with that, guys. Yeah. And sometimes when we do calls, when I play with this and elementals and energies come in and all of that, there's all this stuff that goes on with energy that I play with, and it's just so much fun. Yeah. And how much space can you occupy to engage with the elementals? Yeah, anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pud, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yum. And truly, what magic is possible that has never been possible before? Yeah. I also did a weekly video, so those also get sent out every Sunday in my weekly video. We'll link it here to a question you can ask with the elementals to increase your cash flow. So we will link to that video here somewhere. You can check for that. So all of the links that I talk about, of course, they're on my webpage. If you're listening to this via a podcast, they'll be in the show notes. So if you go to the actual podcast, you'll see it there. So you can find it. If you can't, just message me. I will get you that, or my team will get you the link so that you can access all of this yumminess. Yeah. So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to actualize everything you desire with total ease and joy and glory? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pud, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. If you enjoyed this, my sweet friends, I would love if you shared it, Sharing is such a beautiful way to contribute. You can also now buy me a coffee. We'll have a link there. I'm so grateful for all of you who have bought me coffees so far. Oh my goodness, so incredibly grateful. So is hubby, because many of you have included him in that creation. So thank you. Thank you for our coffees. We love them. And of course, if you're listening on a podcast app, you can rate the podcast. So the more people that rate it, the more it gets out there, the more it'll come up in people's suggested lists, and I would love that too. So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to chatting again next week.